That was the first time I came to LA. I stayed at Izzo's crib. Izzo and Chuck English. When you said blog era, I had to say like
Cool Kids, man.
The Cool Kids was also like
they're kind of before blog era a little. Like I
to
think
me
like
that was blog era. When I think of blog era, I think of like Two Dope Boys,
of course,
Not Right. I think of Fake Shore Drive. I think of Ill Roots. Yep. I think of like a lot of spaces that I was trying to get onto because I was seeing that the Cool Kids and you know what I'm saying. I really want to say it, so I don't want to fuck up. Dom Kennedy.
What was Knowledge's group from Chicago? Kids
in the Hall.
Yeah,
like all of that stuff was happening while I'm in high school, and we're all thirsty to go to streetwear stores where they're all playing this music and having niggas mixtapes on the counter, so you could come in and buy one. And I wanted to be a part of that. This is when I'm 16, 17 years old. So like, I mean, I remember meeting the Cool Kids at a Wendy's, meeting specific Chuck English when I was a kid. You probably don't even remember this, but as a child, leaving Leaders.
By the way, thanks to them they brought snapbacks back, period. That's just a fact.
Man, they brought rap back, man. Like, the Cool Kids is one of the most important hip-hop groups, period.
Facts.
And I think, like, so much of, like, style, retrofuturism, like, being yourself, like, being, like, all of that shit came from them, from Chuck and Mikey, and I actually got introduced. I invented my Adlib. This is a story that I never get to tell. I'm so glad you brought up Mac and you brought up all this stuff.
Yeah,
I never get to tell the story. The way that my Adlib, that came from a session where I was supposed to be with Chuck. Chuck brought me to the studio. I'm standing in the booth. This is like my first time like in a real studio in LA. I've been in studios in Chicago, but like I feel, you know, a lot of weight on it. And while I'm recording, Mac Miller came into the control room, and I was getting ready to start my rap. It's the first song on 10 Days. It's called 14 400 Minutes. And I'm trying to like charge up, and I'm going, like, I don't know, nervous tick. I got ADHD. I'm a special kid. Yeah, I'm just like doing, and I'm like, all right, I'm ready. Start it over. And Mac told somebody to tell me through the intercom to keep that shit at the beginning. And like, I don't even know why I forget that or why I never told that story, but like, I thank Chuck for like bringing me to the studio and letting me be this little brother nigga that's just like following him around with no name at that time.
Right.
And also like, you know, Mac for interjecting and being like, that shit hot. You know what I'm saying? Like little moments like that. Like, and then I ended up working with all of them and touring with all of them and like, and growing up like in spaces with them.
Do you go back ever and just press play on Acid Rap? It's such a perfect body of work, and it's such a timepiece.
I appreciate it, man. I honestly don't listen to it that much. My music, I listen to the most while I'm making it, and maybe like in a few weeks after it comes out. At a certain point, I'll be thinking a lot about things I wanted to change or all types of shit like that.
I just feel like, you know, it's like, you know, like however many years later, let's throw on Acid Rap. Let me just remember where the fuck I was then. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's what music does for people. And I think for me, as the person that made it, I have so many more memories attached to it than other people do.
So it's a lot. It's probably a heavier task for you to like you said, you might get emotional.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think when I made Acid Rap, like I was still figuring out who I was. I always look at Acid Rap as a project of questions, and Coloring Book, like, you know, I thought I had found the answers. And I think Acid Rap is so pure and so like, you know, I really hope that, my mom used to say this thing when I was a kid that she called it the second album test, because my mom's super into music.
Yeah.
She always used to say that like an artist's second, you know, album is the most important, because that's how you know if they just like, you know, if it was
flash
a fluke
in a pan,
or, you know what I'm saying?
You can do it twice.
If you could do it twice, then you got it. And she used to put that pressure on every new CD that we would get from an artist that I already fucked with. And I put that same amount of pressure in my mind. This is my second thing, even though nobody had really heard 10 Day. But I'm in my brain, I'm like,
it was your second thing.
Yeah, it was my second thing as Chance the Rapper. So I'm like, I think like it's really a kid that's like hungry to be this specific thing, this specific, you know, different, quirky, gospel inspired, you know, well-worded album or mixtape at the time. And it accomplishes all of those things, but it's like, I don't know. It's just like it's flat now. Like I loved it the most when I was making it.
Well, were you actually like on the psychedelics pretty tough while creating?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And while not creating.
Right, of course. Yeah.
So like I was like
shrooms, acid, all, you know.
Yeah. It's like I didn't have kids.
Right.
I didn't have non-for-profits. I didn't
Hey,
have
I microdose every day.
Microdosing is different from like
it is. You're right.
I'm taking a half eighth and just walking around.
Oh man.
Like I'm saying,
or going in the studio.
Yeah, and literally just like what I always tell people that's funny is like there were a lot of acid and shroom sessions, but like I can't think of one song that's on acid rap that actually comes from those sessions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
it's almost like you know, because depending on how much you've taken, you probably might catch the magic.
It's incredibly hard to function when you're on
but
acid.
It's very
like,
hard.
What the fuck?
Because every beat sounds like the greatest beat ever. I remember I was
or the scariest beat ever.
I ate like a half an eighth of shrooms, and I was in the studio with a buddy of mine who's a rapper, and he's playing me his album. Big artist, and it sounded like the greatest hip hop album ever created at the time. And then it came out and I listened to it and I was like, man, this shit's weak.
Yeah.
I thought this shit was great. I was high as fuck.
No, literally.
The vibrations were just, they took me over.
It's a skewed perception of the world. No, I think like I was documenting my life. And so the days where it was clearest and I was best able to do that was on the days where I was just smoking weed. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I think, you know, the experience of like living in through an album is like how I create. Like I have to live my life and then look at it and then kind of judge it and then kind of put a theme or thesis to it. And then I create a bunch of different pieces, typically from thinking of a title or a topic first, and then just writing to that over different beats and different things.
Tell me, so I want to jump to the new album a little bit. There's some crazy joints on here conceptually. You know, this Letters record is a lot, man.
Yo, thank you, man. That's so funny. I was gonna say like that's the one that almost didn't make it, and it's not because I was saying anything controversial, but it was because I was like, this one's scaring the hoes for sure. I'm like,
it's later on in the album, but it's definitely, you know, I feel like for people who haven't heard the record, it's you know, each letter is a letter to a different church in a different perspective. So it's like, but you know, it's man, it's a lot, dog. Like when you're writing that record, like.
Yeah, that record that's one of the few that's a punch cut. So I actually didn't put pen to paper for that one, which feels so phony because I keep talking about I'm writing them motherfuckers. But like that was inspired by two works. So a lot of the songs on the album, just for context, are like inspired by some literary works. So either a book like The Negro Problem or Homer's Odyssey for space and time, or you know, from poetry with No More Old Men, or
I felt like Just a Drop was one of those records that felt like I could have read it out loud in a poetry book.
Yeah, I forget how I wrote that in Atlanta. I don't know why. That's one of the like records that came back out of nowhere. That one and Ride towards the end of the sequence in the project. I was like, you know what, we need Ride on there. You know what, we need Just a Drop on there. But like for a while, both of those and a few other ones were not on the record. And even though I made them a while ago,
but Letters, you were saying you were punching in the lines.
Yeah, I'm just but it's inspired by two books. Sort of one of them is James Cone's book, The Cross and the Lynching Tree, and it's like one of his like most important works in like explaining Black liberation theology. But when I was reading that, I was getting super radicalized for Christ and for my people, and like so I was like, I need to format this at some point. So I had an idea for a song called "The Cross and the Lynching Tree," and then I was also inspired by Paul's letters. So in the Bible, like the last, like I don't know, like a lot of books of the Bible are letters from Paul to different churches. So you get like, if you've ever heard of Romans or Thessalonians or Corinthians, those are letters to the church in Corinth or letters to the church of Rome or wherever. And so all these letters that he was writing are like these scathing, mad letters to them saying, y'all fucking up. This is not how the church is supposed to be. Right. And explaining them that his life was divinely changed by Christ. So there's like this ongoing Christian meme that may not be in your algorithm.
Probably not.
Where it's like, where the
most Christian thing in my algorithm is my guy Miles Minnick.
Shout out to Miles, man.
Yeah.